Good afternoon, I am TheZOMBIEJ, and it is time for some tea. No, it's actually time to review The Journey to One. Bionicle, The Journey to One came out in 2016. 4 episodes and a prologue. So basically 5 episodes, if you count the prologue as the actual episode 1. But, meh. So, 4 episodes counting the prologue, that's pretty much like an hour and a half or something like that. So if you splice this all together, it could potentially be like the length of a good-sized movie, potentially, instead of a mini-series. So, yeah. This series should have been great. It could have been great, it just wasn't. The art style is pretty good, actually. The studio behind the Journey to One, I think it's called the Volta or something like that. No, not Mars Volta, the stupid metal band of some sort. No, I'm talking about a studio that worked on the Journey to One. The art style's pretty good. I actually like the art style. It's nice. The way the characters are portrayed in this art style and the way everything moves and whatnot, it's actually fantastically rendered, fantastically done. It's pretty good. I like it. The music is, well, Mike Resnick, I think, is the composer. Unfortunately, he only released 6 tracks of his score. He didn't release the whole thing. Released the whole damn thing, god damn it. The music that we did hear while watching the show, it's pretty good. It's a typical, orchestral, symphonic score or whatever, and some other elements here and there and whatnot. And musically, this score is pretty good. I could say it's almost a bit typical in a way, but the sound effects of like characters landing on the ground, weapons clashing, powers being used, and whatnot. All these sound effects, some of them seem a bit off in terms of the way they're constructed and whatnot. Like the audio mix of this show seems pretty well balanced, but the sound effects, I don't know who the sound engineer was for this show, but they did an okay job for the most part. Speaking of sound, we have to talk about the voice acting. Yes, the voice acting. Umarak's voice, well, for the Umarak the Hunter vocal, not terrible. I would have picked someone else to play as Umarak the Hunter, but when he became Umarak the Destroyer, it was better. It was actually much better, I must say. And the only thing I have to say about the models of each character, it seems like there was some gap filling here and there, like with Umarak the Hunter or Umarak the Destroyer, or both. There was some gap filling with crystals and whatnot. That's on the studio's part, not Lego's part. They had to fill in the gaps that the Lego company created in their sets. You had to do that, so it's fine. Whatever. The voice acting for the Toa. Pohatu, fine. Liwa, bit corny, but otherwise fine. Kopaka, kinda okay. Onua, decent. And Gali, I actually like Gali's voice actress. She has a pretty good voice. She definitely sounds like what a Gali G2 would sound like if we heard that voice in 2015 instead of just 2016. But I like the voice acting for Golly. Pretty good. There was some corny moments between, you know, the Toa engaging in talk and whatnot. There was some cheesy moments here. Some of the writing tends to be a bit off, but for the most part, the writing for the prologue, which was pretty much just a, it's exactly that. It's a prologue. It's a prelude. It's kind of wrapping up the events of the online animations, and then showing at the end, showing off the Toa with the new armor and weapons and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. I actually like this idea for an episode. You know, Naramoto, the protector of fire, talks to a camp of a campfire, sits around a campfire with a little villagers and talking about these heroes. And well, there you go. This prologue is pretty interesting. I felt like they didn't need a prologue, but sure, nice little bonus. The first two episodes were, for the most part, the writing was okay. They weren't that great, but they were, I guess you could say, acceptable. And for the most part, I enjoyed these two episodes. Episode 3 was starting to spiral down a little bit. Okay, so after the Toa failed to get the Mask of Creation, the Mask of Control, sorry. Umarak puts it on, and he mutates and becomes the Destroyer, and I love that scene. I once posted that scene on YouTube. It's not on there anymore, because copyright, god damn it. So, yeah, there you go. And so, after the Toa basically, come back to meet with Akimu, Umarak goes looking for the 6 fragmented pieces of the Mask of Ultimate Power, yada yada, blah, fuck. Then he summons the, somehow the traps are turned, the bear trap things are turned into elemental beasts, which there's only 3 types, 3 breeds of elemental beasts, if you will, and we all know which ones they are. And this was kind of weird. Like, why would the bear traps, I know they're apparently sentient for some reason, but they're just mindlessly following Umarak's lead. But they turn into the beasts, and so the beasts are wreaking havoc and whatnot. And this was interesting. You see Tahu losing his mask, and yeah, so he gets it back, obviously. Akimu turns into the Toa of Light. Really, golly, you had to bring that up. Yeah. Akimu's the G2 Toa of Light. Confirmed. No. It's just an old man who's willing to help the Toa further their mission, if you will. And, well, I forgot to mention, in one of the first 2 episodes, I think it was just the first episode, they were fighting some Skull Warriors. So, that were still on the loose and just walking like dead men. And, yeah, that was pretty cool. The 3rd episode was interesting for the most part. And then finally, obviously the writing was kind of meh. Episode 4, the Dark Portal. This is where the writing went subterranean, and it was just really bad. It really was. If I recall, the writing was like subpar compared to the previous 3 episodes, and even the prologue combined. That's absolutely insane. So, Umarak does his thing. The Toa and Yakimu go to stop him, and there's this one stupid scene where Akimu basically blinds everybody with his light powers, where Agilu, the creature of light, basically flies into his chest, and he turns back into his Maskmaker form. Wow. Wow, that is absolutely fucking balls. I mean, seriously. He had to turn back into his Maskmaker form at some point, one or another. But the way this was done, it was just like, why? This was annoying is what it was. So, okay, things are getting a little awkward now. So, the Toa are trying to defeat Umarak. Gali tries to go after him, and she ends up getting her spirit sucked out of her and taken into the Shadow Realm, and her body falls lifeless to the floor. While Gali is in the Shadow Realm reading a bunch of ancient text on the wall and whatnot, she sees Makuta and the Journey to One Makuta, which looks pretty fucking cool. In set form, it looks pretty good. I like it. Never got to build it though. Whatever. So Gali then eventually comes out of the dark portal after Umarak gets sucked in along with the mask control, and she tells the rest of the Toa that we are the elements, and then they start this cliche power struggle with Makuta, and Makuta looks at him and is like, and then Poatu says, "This ends now," and here comes the ritual, and Akimu's watching and is like, wait a minute. And eventually Makuta's like, wait a minute. No. And then the tragedy happens of G2. So the Toa banish Makuta to the Shadow Realm. They go straight up into the sky, divide into their respective planets. And that's how the show ends. Basically, the Toa send themselves back to where they came from. This was LEGO's form of damage control. Wow. And Akimu looked up in the skies as if he was about to say, well, this was too soon. But it was prophesied, so... Then you see Izator. Apparently not Narmoto. Izator is now talking to the camp of villagers, and basically the Toa will be back someday when we need them, and all this stupid nonsense, and then the end. I know there was probably some plot stuff that I forgot and whatnot, but this last episode, the last 6 or so minutes of Journey to One, was probably what should have been like what 2017 should have been revolved around. It wasn't though. This was rushed beyond rushed. I mean, seriously. It's even more rushed than G1's ending. Seriously. You'd have to be an idiot to not see this. This is absolutely ridiculous. And when I remember when I read the message on Bionicle, basically BionicleG2.com, I was shocked. After I watched the show, I was like, wait a minute, this better not be it. This better not be the end. Then I read the message, and I was like, no. This was a horrible way to end the series. And we all know why they canceled G2. And I'm just going to point it towards, well, money and slashed budget. And the story was bare bones. And they were trying to appeal to a younger audience. Well, good luck with that. It was a harder sell, Bionicle G2, for the younger audience. You can't appeal to everybody, you know. We bought the sets. We read the books. We watched Journey to One. I was disappointed with Journey to One's ending. Believe me, everybody else was. Journey to Done was the classic meme we got from this, well, one of the memes we got from Journey to One, other than Toa of Light, Ikimu. Thanks, golly. Also, we got a shadow spawn, which you could make out of existing Umarak pieces, whatever. Don't care. So, what can I say that hasn't been said already about Journey to One? It was a flop. It was a fail. It blows. The acting, the voice acting was a bit cringe. Also, it sounds like they were trying to go for robotic sound. But it's like they were speaking into like a can or something. You expect to be taken seriously when you're doing this approach? This doesn't work. At least with the Bionicle films from G1, the Miramax trilogy, at least they used actual fucking voices and not have to morph them in some fucking way. As if they were being speaking into a can and then recording that way. The story was not that great. Journey to One's story ended way too quickly. It was that last episode that really killed it for this show, and I bet Netflix took it down, obviously. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. After all this time. They probably should have taken it down, but who knows. Journey to One left some permanent scars. And it absolutely fucking sucks. It really does suck that this is the way that Bionicle G2 had to end. And Lego just... What I have to say to you... Also, to the Volta, you know, the animation studio, B+ for effort, but really, it seemed like there wasn't a core direction, you know, going towards a certain direction with this show. This was a rush job beyond a rush job. This was 4 episodes plus the prologue that it felt like. It felt like sort of it just felt wrong. This felt wrong. It really did. I feel so bad for watching this show on Netflix back in 2016 and wasting my time with it. As a Bionicle fan, as an avid Bionicle fan, I am so pissed off about that last episode. It fucking sucked. The writing was truly bad. Very bad. Terrible, I would say. And I can think of plenty of words to describe it. Cringy. Sad. Piss poor. And many others that you could probably pull out of your ass. The Journey to One, art style was fine. It was great. All the effects, all the visual stuff was perfectly fine. The music was fine. The voice acting was eh. The ending was eh. This was just a pure disappointment. This show should just be made out of pure disappointment. And Lego and the Volta should be ashamed of themselves because this is the direction they went, and it sucks. It really does. Overall, I have to give The Journey to 1. If I had to assign individual scores for each episode, I'd say the prologue is a decent, I don't know, solid 8 for, bringing, being sort of a summary episode of the last year. The first 2 episodes each get like a 7.5 each. Episode 3 gets like a borderline 6, and the final episode 4, just gets 2.5. Overall score as a whole, I would say 5. 5 out of 10. Not completely terrible, but there were aspects of it that were kind of cringe in some ways, and that last episode was just piss poor. Like, seriously. Clearly the writing was on the wall for this series, and was on the wall for Bionicle G2 in general, because the writing was on the wall. It was showing that it wasn't going to last beyond 2 years, and this is what we got in terms of a show. Well, I will say this, B+ for effort. Voice acting was cringe sometimes. That last episode, at least they ended it somehow, but it ended up flopping harder than a fish off the Empire State Building. I don't recommend this show. Even if you want to watch it, please don't. Do yourself a favor and just ignore The Journey to 1. You're a better person than this. I mean, seriously, don't watch it. You'll be disappointed beyond belief. And that's my review on Journey to 1. It left permanent scars. In my heart, in my brain, and my emotions were just out of control after that. I really I hate that last episode. It does not hold a candle to any of the other episodes, except for the fact that episode 3 was just kind of, well, less than the first 2 episodes combined. This is just 2016, after The Journey to 1 concluded, Bionicle, we lost it again. We lost Bionicle again, and it was because of, well, a lot of things. But Journey to 1, or in some cases Journey to Done, has really left a profound impact on the series, on the franchise as a whole. This was shameful. It really was. If you disagree, well, watch the show again and pay a good, close attention, and you'll probably understand, because this is not good. I would sooner watch Wonder Momo, an anime that's like 5 episodes from 2014, from 10 years ago. And I heard that anime was pretty bad. I'd still watch it over The Journey to 1, even though I'm a Bionicle fan. I'm also an anime fan. Go figure. Journey to 1 sucked for some of the part, but at least they tried. At least they tried to make a decent, compelling show, but it really faltered. It faltered, it reverted, and it stunk. I can't say much more, because I've already said enough. I could go on for hours, but I've said enough. Plus, we're at minute 25 now, and, well, yeah. So, if you are interested in watching the Journey to One, just don't. Just go back to the 2015 animations and be done with it. I still like the sets, at least. the Toa Uniters are still fantastic evolutions of the Toa Masters. And, well, Umrak the Destroyer is still fucking awesome. And Akimu the Maskmaker is pretty cool, too. The Elemental Beasts were meh, for the most part. The creatures were okay. And, yeah. So, that's all I have to say. I'll be back later with probably some more Bionicle related content. Maybe I'll take a break and talk about something else. Like, I don't know, Knight's Kingdom. Oh wait, I already did that. God damn it. Oh well. Get some tea. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I would like to apologize if you were actually a fan of Journey to One. Because I liked Journey to One for the most part. But there's just some things that I just could not comprehend enjoying more than what I did enjoy of Journey to One. There was just some things that were just really wrong about this show. And if you like this show, you find it to be flawless, you find it to be excellent, you find it to be the best show that we could have got out of Bionicle at all, see a counselor. This is a terrible show. I would sooner watch The Legend Reborn. That's how bad it was. The Legend Reborn at least is entertaining. For the most part. It has better writing than The Journey to One. I've said enough. So, stay tuned for more videos. What are your thoughts on The Journey to One? Post in the comment section below. Review it yourself. I would like to call this a rant video more than anything else. Rant, review, rant, whatever. I will be reviewing the films at some point, so stay tuned for that. And, well, that's all I had to say. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks there. Have a good fucking day, and peace.